history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
Now, you can't live in Texas and not have a good red meat blend. Texas Cowboy Dust is designed for steak and other red meats. It's out to be my most popular spice blend, made with onions, peppers, ground mushrooms, pink salt, and other spices. Texas Cowboy Dust also goes great with chicken, pork, vegetables, and adds a restaurant-quality sheen to gravies and sauces.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Vanilla smoked sea salt seasoning is for seafood. The tarragon and fennel bring out the natural sweetness in seafood. I also use it in rice dishes, on yams, asparagus, blueberry pancakes, and believe it or not, chocolate chip cookies. Vanilla smoked sea salt adds a salty and savory component to sweet dishes that create a symphony for the tongue.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
When you're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark frank, and you'll say, hello, summer. Oh yeah, it's ballpark season.
Maureen is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon. So now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. Food is her love language. And she really loves her grandson. Like really loves.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplify Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplify Development Services.
Bounty versus the old family dish towel. Drying with a fresh sheet of Bounty leaves your hands cleaner than a used dish towel that can carry and redistribute food residue. So ditch the dish towel for better hand hygiene. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
Now, you can't live in Texas and not have a good red meat blend. Texas Cowboy Dust is designed for steak and other red meats. It's out to be my most popular spice blend, made with onions, peppers, ground mushrooms, pink salt, and other spices. Texas Cowboy Dust also goes great with chicken, pork, vegetables, and adds a restaurant-quality sheen to gravies and sauces.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
All right, welcome to another live edition of the ONG Strike Zone, where we break news like no else can. I'm Ryan Fulford, that's Kelvin Rozier, and the box is Toby Hemingway. It's going to be one of those interesting shows today because I think among three of us, Kelvin might have the best signal right now. So, Kelvin, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, we see you. We see you now. You don't have to smile. We can see you. Beautiful, my brother. Beautiful. All right. Hey, Kobe,
let's go.
Go ahead, Brian. Let's see how you doing. You're freezing a little bit.
Well, hey, look. Well, I audio, so I'm able to hear. My picture looks like crap. Apparently, I think it takes a minute for my camera to load up and warm up.
It looks on time right now.
Okay, good. All right, so good to see you, brothers. Hopefully, everybody's doing well. As I said, welcome everybody to the ONG Strike Zone, where we break news daily, weekly. Breaking news around here. So we're gonna get into it today. Hello, everybody on YouTube and Facebook, watching us on Twitter as well. Make sure you're following us, please, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at ONG Strike Zone. Very important, just to kind of help our numbers out. If you would go ahead and hit the thumbs up button wherever you're at, on any of those platforms, and then also, this is February, the month of, I'm gonna call it a month of sharing for us. Among being other things, Black History Month and all the other good things. Let a friend, let a rattler know on your pages, your Facebook pages. Let a friend, let a family member know to come join us, come like the stream, follow us, whatever it takes. We need to grow our numbers significantly. We have a lot of listeners. Hey, look, right nation was buzzing over the past week. Why? Because right here last week, we gave you the full Florida A&M football schedule. And what do you know, as of this evening, it is official. 1 week later, it is official. And so now nobody has to hide from it anymore. And there you go. The full schedule in all its glory, beginning on September 3rd, as we knew, against Jackson State. Weekend to Tampa to take on USF Bulls. Then the first 2 home games in Tallahassee against Division II West Florida. And then the Alabama State Hornets on September 23rd. Then we go on road to Valley, September 30th. That should be an interesting game in the heat of Mississippi. And then we travel to Southern the following week for 7. So after that first run of 6 games, there's a bye week. And then the Rattlers travel out to Houston. We had a great showing in Houston over the past weekend. Shout out Rattler Nation in Houston, the H-Town, the Houston Alumni Association. Great job out there. So we expect that place to be packed wherever they play the game. Then homecoming, as was previously put out on social media and various other places, homecoming is October 28th. You heard the show. Kofi gave some great tips on how you could take advantage of the Tallahassee market via Airbnb. Okay, that's October 28th. That's homecoming weekend. The following weekend, we travel to Huntsville, Alabama, take on Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Then the much talked about and exclusively broken right here on the OMG contest the following week, Lincoln University of California, the Division II team, which really is just in their second year of football. I think second or third year. That will end the home schedule on November 11th. And then, of course, the Florida Classic on November 8th. And then, of course, December 2nd is the SWAC championship game. And that is that date there. So, gentlemen, let's react to the schedule. Also, the Investing Champions package was released as well along with the schedule. So we'll talk about that. But let's react instantly. Some of the buzz from the past week. I'll start with you, Kofi, since you were instrumental in breaking that news, which we saw in various places. Your thoughts, the reaction from Rattler Nation, people you talked about, just in general, your on the 2023 football schedule.
Well, for me, I think most of Rattler Nation was basically frustrated, about the schedule because we know we have a good team, but given the feedback that came from the NCAA committee, we were hoping that we were going to have an additional opportunity for our we were going to create additional opportunities for our team. As of right now, for the team, there's only one postseason opportunity, and that's going to come down to what happens in September and what happens during the regular season. We can't have any mess ups, any mistakes, because it's going to take the ball out of our hands, and we don't want that. We had 2 opportunities. We chose to play West Florida, which from a competition standpoint is a really, really, really strong team. The Rattlers will have to play not just well, they have to play very well to beat that team. The problem with playing West Florida is there's nothing to gain from playing West Florida. If we beat them, people expect us to beat them. But this is a team that is capable of beating FAMU. So we have to, we can't lose that game. That's going to look very bad. So not only did you play a Division II team, you played a Division II team that can beat you. straight up, head to head. So you can't have that. Then you had the other opportunity to schedule somebody else, and you chose Lincoln University to play. I get it. You had one bye week. You get an opportunity to bring a team to Bragg that gives us 4 home games without having to pay an extreme guarantee. For those that don't know, when you play out of conference teams in FCS, it does carry with it a guarantee of some sort. For instance, when we played Tennessee State down in Tampa, they received the guarantee of $350,000. So Tennessee State has a number. Other schools have a number. When we played Tuskegee, I believe that number was 75,000. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that number was 75,000 because they were a D2 school. But the brand of Tuskegee does carry some weight, so that's why that brand, the number was 75 grand. You play an FCS school like a Mercer or one of those other schools, is going to cost more money, which that could have been an excuse, but I'm not giving anyone necessarily a pass because you have to bring the team cross country. So that in itself costs money, plus the little guarantee or whatever you were going to give them. While, it should be a solid victory. It should be, I'm going to say, an easy victory for FAMU. That being said, there are so many other teams within the region that seem to be available that we could have played, even if it's a D2. If we're going to give that money away, why not give that money to an HBCU, and do something with it, with the opportunity of bringing that team to Bragg as a 4th home game. Now, here's the challenge for Bragg Nation, not Bragg Nation, not just Bragg Nation, but Rattler Nation. We've never sold more than 6,000 season tickets, and we've taken matters into saying, well, it's who we playing, and by now, we should have a clear understanding on the meaning of season tickets. Irregardless of who we play, we need to find a way to support the team. And, I put a number out there, 10,000 season tickets. We get 10,000 season tickets. I think that is a plus for our athletic department and for the football program in particular. We should average. We've never averaged at home. And we haven't averaged at home in a long time, let's say over 20,000 people a game. I don't think we've done it. But at least we should set a goal, not just for the team, but also for Rattler Nation, to at least finish 2nd or 3rd, because Jackson State's going to finish 1st. But if we can be top 3 in attendance, that'll be good, which means we got to find somebody that's going to count the people that's coming in the gate. Just wanted to put that out there because they didn't seem like they could count last year. It seemed like they needed to go to Sesame Street and learn how to count, just getting stuff just all messed up. Get the system right, count the people that come through the gate, give them a number, boost the number, and report the right numbers, people. But that being said, we get 10,000 season tickets. That would really, really, really be a plus. People, the schedule is finalized. Please stop wishing we gonna play some. We not. The schedule is finalized. It's out now. It's released by the department. The schedule is finalized. Going to put it on the screen if you can hear me. The schedule is finalized. The only thing that could possibly change is the time of the game, or maybe even if we get some type of deal from ESPN or one of these other networks to move the game to another date. Other than that, the schedule is set. We playing who we playing. We ain't got time to blame. We don't have time to play that whole blame game. That's a bunch of mess. We don't want to be that messy show. What I can tell you is, from my understanding, the department was really understaffed. After Gaucher left, there was really only one or two people in the department to have to do everything. And we saw what happened to compliance. We saw what happened to everything else. That also affects the schedule somewhat. Not giving them a pass, but, it is what it is at this point. So let's make lemonade. Let's make a good meal like we are on Chop. You make what they give you to make with. And let's make the most out of this by making this a historic season for FAMU and Rattler Nation. And I think we can do that.
Well said. Kelvin, what are your thoughts?
First of all, I'll get my season ticket package, and I'll be in the spot for all the games, home games this year. But in terms of the schedule, I just talk facts. It is disappointing for me. We got 3 out of conference games. All of them are PWCs, no HBCUs. I don't mind. I actually advocate playing a PWC, but I wanted it to be a FCS PWC. Of course, we've been playing the Power 5 and Group 5 PWCs for a while, and it was already on South Florida's already on the schedule. I have no issue with that game. It's in our region, our footprint. It's a recruiting hotbed for us. We got fan base there. It's a game that we should be competitive in a little bit. So I can deal with that. But we essentially took South Carolina State and the Albany State, Fort Valley State D2 out of the equation. They're regional schools. They're in our footprint. We got history with them. They could use the money if we were going to play a D2, and we have, we were all part of the SIAC at one time. We play those schools a lot. So we gave up our friends for unfamiliarity, and like Kobe said, with 2 TWC D2s, there's really not a win in it for FAMU. It doesn't do anything for us, but sets us up for ridicule. Like you said, if you win those games, it's good, but you expect to win. If you lose those games, it's an embarrassment. It gives you no room for error in running the SWAC schedule at this point. And we got a lot of road games in SWAC this year. We go to Houston with a very good Texas Southern squad. We go to Alabama A&M, who's returning a lot of their team and restocking. We go to Baton Rouge to play a very good Southern squad. So
it ain't no
we got some landmines in there, and it would be nice to just have that extra cushion in there for multiple opportunities for postseason. So with that being said, I'm all about strategically putting together schedules. Kobe mentioned about home attendance and some other things. My fear is that it forces some of our fan base, instead of choosing Tallahassee to travel to for home games, because we got 2 PWCs at home, that they may choose to go to Baton Rouge and Tampa and Miami and Houston instead. So I mean, that's what the schedule does. With that being said, we're anticipated to have a really good team. We'll probably be favored to win the SWAC, and so we need to get behind this team and cheer them on. We need to show up in numbers.
Let me clarify a couple of things that I'm seeing here in the chat rooms. I know EA just said that he was watching Dr. Gaville's show yesterday, and let me let everybody know the schedule, the same schedule that we posted last week, and we told everybody that was unofficial. Okay, we were just giving everybody sort of the advance heads up notice that was most likely the schedule as we know it, right? Became official at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time tonight. So the same schedule that we gave you guys last week, it's on FAMUathletics.com, probably being posted on social media. It is official. So yes, as Dr. Cavill and Coach Simmons were talking on last night's show, he couldn't comment on it being official because today hadn't happened. And he was referring to our schedule release, which, you know, like I said, turned out to be correct. So that's a win for us, win for the show. We gave you a heads up. So it is official. Now, the biggest question, look, like Kelvin, you just said it. We ripped other schools. Hell, we ripped teams for playing VUL and other schools. You know, that look, we just gonna have to take the all the stuff that's gonna come with playing 2 Division II teams at home, non-HBCUs. We just gonna have to take that, Rattler Nation. But at the end of the day, as Coach Simmons' tweet said, with the little image of the Celebration Bowl and the finger pointing down at it, that's the goal. We are all in on the Celebration Bowl. There will be no playoffs if we don't win the SWAC East or the SWAC Championship. Well, obviously, if we get to the SWAC Championship game, the playoffs will be happening. So it's all about getting to the SWAC Championship game and then getting to the Celebration Bowl. There will be no playoffs if we do not achieve our goal in the 8 SWAC games. Okay, that's just how it's going to be this year. Okay, so let's everybody just deal with that. Now, we can talk about the why and all the other stuff about where South Carolina State at and why. I can ask the question, like, I got a big question, like, you know, we had the interim AD Michael Smith in there, and we saw him make other moves. Why wasn't he given was he given the opportunity to work on this schedule, or was he not? You know, I'm very curious about that. You know,
it's not hard to figure out. It ain't rocket science, bro.
I know.
This ain't rocket science. AD Sykes didn't get started till January. Come on, man. AD Sykes didn't get here till January the 4th. She didn't get here till January the 4th.
Well, look, Michael Smith hired 2 people on the eve of her taking the job. Or maybe, let me rephrase that. Maybe their contracts got finally approved, but he obviously hired them before. So why wasn't he given the opportunity to schedule and put the schedule in place to get us an opportunity?
He did it. Come on, man. This ain't rocket science. You think President Robinson put the schedule together?
No.
You think Shante Friday Stroud put the schedule together?
No.
Okay. So there was one athletic official with the power to pull the strings. And it just is what it is. We don't have time to necessarily get mad.
I got you.
It just is.
I got you. I'm just asking the question that everyone, I'm asking the question that other people in the chat room are asking. Okay, so we can, investing in champions. I saw our good friend Marcus asking some questions. Now, I know the Investing in Champions package, which if you go to that article on FAMUathletics.com at the bottom, scroll all the way down to the bottom of that article, you will see the new Investing in Champions package. And there are a lot of options to include the Florida Classic in what would almost essentially be your 5th home game. If you were to think of your package as a 5 home game package, well, Florida Classic will
really
be
other. 6 if you include the OBC, but
the OBC is on there. The OBC is on there. Yes. Okay. So you have an opportunity to add not only the OBC but the Florida Classic as well. Now, I don't know, how does that work? Because if I'm reading these columns correctly, Kelvin, you're an experienced person on these. Explain a little bit how these columns and rows work. If I wanted to get the Orange Blossom Classic and the Florida Classic, what are you seeing there in terms of value? What makes sense? What looks off to you?
So essentially, you have what is it? 8 tiers of the investing champion package, starting at the green rattler level, which is the $1,000 level. And you have to go up a tier to add the Orange Blossom Classic tickets, which is at the $1,500 level. And then if you want the and you get the North End Zone also. If you at the next level, champion level, which is at the 2,500 level, that'll get you 4 Orange Blossom Classic tickets. And then the Florida Classic don't come into the Silver Rattler, which is at the $3,000 level. Here's what I would say. You get a parking pass, which each one of those levels, only one up to the silver. If you compare it to previous years, it is what it is. When you do the investing champion package, the value is supporting the athletic program essentially. Because the season tickets package will come out, and they'll probably run for somewhere around $300, right? $250, $300 for a season ticket. So, and that includes no parking. You can also add basketball season ticket package. Look like they kept those packages the same, but it's a la carte. It's an add-on where you get 2 basketball season tickets for $150. You get what they call a full court season tickets, which is basically your 2 tickets plus passes to go eat and drink at a little area for $250. Then they have a $400 where you get 4 basketball tickets and 4 passes to the special area and a reserved parking pass. So those are add-on. Basketball is at least an add-on, which wasn't an option this past season. So that's a good thing. That's a plus. I'd rather for you to hit me at one time than hit me multiple times, So in terms of value, you got 4 home games. 2 of the home games against PWCs, Division IIs. It's not attractive at the end of the day. So for some people, it's not attractive. So but you get the investing champion package to support the program at the end of the day. So there's value at the higher levels, but the purpose is to support the program, and I'll leave it there for now.
1 minute, Kofi, before we got to go to break with our next guest. Go ahead, get your point in there.
So basically, I mean, moving on from 2024 schedule is basically already set.
Whoa! Sorry. Don't. Let's hold that because you did a great job with talking about 2024, and I don't want that to get lost in this segment. Is there anything you wanted to quickly add about investing in champions package?
Nah. We good. I mean, let's support the team. Let's support the athletic department and keep it moving. Let's go.
Well said. We'll come back to talking about 2024 in the second hour. You did a great breakdown of that. I've seen in a couple places, so I love that. So we'll talk about that on the in the second hour. But coming up on the other side of this break, softball season is starting up this upcoming weekend, and we're talking up next to one of our all-conference players. Nyah Morgan will be coming up here on the other side. We're going to talk to her about the start of the season, and we're going to see she was one of the top double hitters, home run hitters, and we're going to see how she's going to double that and match that this upcoming season. So hang in there with us. We come back on the other side with Nyah Morgan. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone.
Seasoning is for seafood. The tarragon and fennel bring out the natural sweetness in seafood. I also use it in rice dishes, on yams, asparagus, blueberry pancakes, and believe it or not, chocolate chip cookies. Vanilla smoked sea salt adds a salty and savory component to sweet dishes that create a symphony for the tongue.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
When you're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark frank, and you'll say, hello, summer. Oh yeah, it's ballpark season.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplified Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplified Development Services.
Bounty versus the old family dish towel. Drying with a fresh sheet of Bounty leaves your hands cleaner than a used dish towel that can carry and redistribute food residue. So ditch the dish towel for better hand hygiene. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Brian Fulford here. I promise I'm not live from the parking lot or out in Beirut or anywhere. Just having some audio visual difficulties. That's Kelvin Rozier, Kofi Hemingway. And joining us is our all SWAC. Let me see if I can get all the accolades up. Led the conference in doubles a year ago. 5th in RBIs, 5th in home runs. Top 10 slugging percentage. It's the catcher, played and started in all 48 games last year, Miss Nyah Morgan. Nyah, welcome to the O&G. Thanks for coming on tonight. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We are blessed, and we thank you for coming on the show and talking with us. So, hey, let's get right into it because I know we were just kind of talking offline in the break there. The softball team just had their fan day experience on Saturday. Let's start by just telling us how that went. Kind of update us because last week we had Coach Patterson on telling us about it. So we get you on to kind of tell us after the event how it went.
It went really good. We ended up having a lot more fans than we expected to have, which is good. We signed a bunch of papers. We saw little kids, got to interact with them, which was really good. FAMU DRS ended up coming. We're trying to bridge the gap between us and them so that we can go to more of their softball games and they can come to ours.
Right. I know Coach talked about that being something she was really pushing hard. How do you talk a little bit about the relationship of just reaching back to younger athletes and maybe relate that to influences in your life that brought you or that inspired you to want to play softball?
Um, so as far as being able to reach out to younger athletes and things like that, I know that it is very important for young female African American athletes to realize that there are people doing things that they want to do when they get older now that are African American and did go through all the hardships younger. So
Right, right. All right. So before I turn it over to my guys here, let's start with a little bit of your background. You're from Jacksonville, correct? Tell us a little bit about how you found your way to FAMU. I know originally you were at a different school. What was it that attracted you to FAMU? How and why did you end up getting to FAMU?
So my dad is actually an alumnus of FAMU, which kind of drew me there after I realized that it was time for me to leave Stetson. So my dad has actually been trying to get me to FAMU since I started playing ball, but I had to go experience other things first to realize this is where I needed to be. So
That's all right. That's all right. It happens sometime. You know, it takes time. Kelvin, go ahead there.
So the season is getting ready to start. I'm looking at the preseason prediction order of finish for the East Division, and they have FAMU at fourth with Alabama State, Jackson State, and Bethune ahead of us. Just talk about your goals personally for this year, this season, and if there are any, and what the team goals are.
For me personally, my goals are to just do better. I didn't have the season I wanted to have last year in regards to like my batting average and my fielding percentage. So that for me is just trying to hone in on what I need to do as a player to get to the standard that I hold myself to. In regards to the team, we just want to be SWAC champions. That's really all it is. It's either we do it or we do it. So
Okay, the
I
follow up
like
to that
I
is
like that.
yeah. The follow up to that is how do you feel about the squad that we fielding this year? How we coming along?
good, actually, really good. We have a bunch of good athletes on our team, which is very good. We have a lot of girls that are coachable, which is also very good, and many girls that can play a couple positions. So that's pretty good.
Awesome, awesome.
Go ahead, Kofi.
Well, I'm excited. Tell me about your off-season training. Like when you're not practicing with the team, what are some of the things that you do to make sure that you are in top form going into preseason camp?
Me personally, I just hit a lot. So like I'll go, even if it's at 10 p.m., I'll go to the field, I'll hit some balls off the tee. I have a friend that comes with me. She'll throw front toss and we'll just throw front toss to each other. For me, fielding, I wouldn't say it's not a problem, but it's not something that is very detrimental to my game. Hitting is really where it's at. So I just try to hit a lot in the off season, try to perfect some things that I may think I struggle with.
Awesome.
And talk about fielding. You are a catcher, even though you played a little bit of third base. What do you did you start? And I don't know this because I couldn't find this in the stats. How much of the game? Now you played and started in all 48. What did you play all catcher in those, or what percentage did you play between catcher and infield?
I kind of split half and half. I probably played more like 65% catcher, but I did split it between third base and catcher for most of the time. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. But I did catch a lot towards the end of the season when we got into more conference games.
So when Friday rolls around, 11 a.m. I think is that first game, or are you behind the plate, or are you on the hot corner? Where will you be starting?
I'm not sure. She hasn't talked to me about it, but I think I'll be catching that game
Okay,
just to start the
okay.
season off.
So here's what I've been told and heard. Being the catcher is sort of like being the quarterback of the team, and you not only you're working with the pitcher, but you got to work with everybody else. Uh, do you like that role as the catcher? Talk a little bit about that role of being the catcher versus being that third base infielder.
As a catcher, you have to be the commander of the field because you can see all of it. So we are in charge of telling people where the plays go, just keeping people in tune with the game and what's going on. So like just stuff like that. At third base, I wouldn't say you get to take time off from thinking so much, but it's you get to take a little bit of time off. It's not lax, but you do get to take a little bit of time off from thinking because it's the catcher's job to think, really. Because you don't want your pitchers thinking too much. You don't want your infield or outfield thinking too much because if they don't know, then the play's not going to happen.
Nice, nice. And were you you played both kind of growing up all through high school and everything, is that correct?
No. So in high school, I was actually on my high school team in sixth grade because I went to a school that was kindergarten through 12th.
Right.
So I was on my high school team in sixth grade and I played third a lot, a lot. And then during travel ball, I caught a lot.
Wow, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean okay, that's a heck of a transition. We'll talk about that a little bit. I'm curious about how you make that transition. I won't hog up all the questions from my guys, so we'll come back to it. Kelvin, go ahead.
I want you to talk about your approach to from game to game. Like I believe Friday you all have a doubleheader. So
Yes,
do
sir.
you approach that first game differently, knowing that you got a second game the same day? Uh, and does it vary on whether you catching versus being at third base? Just kind of talk about how you approach and do your game management on game day with doubleheaders.
So I usually do start catching like on the days that we do have double headers. I'll start behind the plate, which I know that, and just knowing that before I go into the game also does help so I can mentally prepare myself for the role that I have to take. Um, but nothing really changes. I know for me, behind the plate, throwing wise, it's a different arm slot. So just being able to prepare myself for the different arm slots of throwing helps a lot.
Go ahead, Kofi.
Okay.
Well, being in Tallahassee, there are three softball teams or three collegiate softball teams. Do you guys have an opportunity to practice against one another, play play games over the summer? Or do you all have any type of league thing where there's more interaction where you guys can uh, continue to progress or make or play against those guys or no, ladies?
Yes. So during the our fall season, we play about 5 games, and we usually do try to fit in games against TCC. And during our spring season, we usually play FSU once
So
or
do you all
twice.
practice? So do you all exchange numbers and practice outside of your structured practices? Do y'all keep in contact, or everything is focused around what you do at FAM?
Everything's usually focused around what we do at FAM. We don't really keep in contact with TCC or FSU. I know us players don't because we're worried about like what we have going on here. So
I understand. So you're excited about the SWAC tournament this year? Where is it?
I don't know where it is. It's probably in Mississippi again, but I'm very excited. I'm glad to be there and glad to get the opportunity to be there again because I know we're gonna make it. So I'll just be excited to be there with my team.
All right, y'all turn it out. Let's go.
Let me follow up on that with Kofi's question about the SWAC. Obviously, 1 year in, first season in the SWAC last year. Give us as best as you can. Give us your analysis of our opponents in the SWAC from what you saw last year to what you kind of expect going into this year.
I expect us to have a target on our backs this year, especially because we made it to the SWAC tournament last year, and they didn't really expect us to make it to the SWAC tournament at all. So I feel like
Why?
this year, I don't know, because we were the first. It was our first year in the SWAC, so they just expected us to be lesser than. But FAMU is never that. So
True that.
when we are going into the SWAC, I think we're gonna do great. The other teams really underestimate us, but that's good because we have a chance to show who we are.
Coach Patterson last week felt really good about this team being a I don't know if she can quite use the word better, but a bigger hitting team this year. Obviously, that's going to be surrounded with you there at the lead, but I know you were very excited. She was one of the reasons why you came to FAMU. Talk a little bit about Coach Patterson, her style, what she's asking of you guys this year compared to last season.
Um, so Coach P, she has a very different coaching style just because she's more focused on how we're feeling. So like at the beginning of practice every day she'll ask us how we are, which is good because it's a lot going around right now. So for us to be who we are and the woman that we are, that's very important for us. So caring more about the athlete itself rather than the sport more than the athlete really will help us this season. And she's great at doing that. Practices are very structured. We are out there doing things that we weren't doing last year. We're out there for a lot longer than we were last year. So I think that will help with endurance wise when we get to gameplay. We'll be able to play those 7 inning games.
Yeah.
Let me ask this, because AD Sykes came and sat with you all and had a meeting with you all. What has that transition been like under her leadership, and what do you like about her?
I really love AD Sykes. She is very in our face as the softball team and as women athletics in general. She's just trying to make our presence known on campus because we do feel like we're not in the spotlight. So for her to come in and really hone in on the women athletes is very crucial and beneficial for us to get more seeing time in the spotlight.
All
Awesome.
right, and looking at the roster, y'all have 11 seniors. So
Yes.
so explain to me, being you one of those seniors, so kind of explain to me what that means in terms of leadership and how having an experienced team can help this season.
So, yes, there are 11 seniors. That just means that the recruiting class coming in after us has to be big as well because you do have to replace 11 bodies. So, for us, leadership is more on a show what you know how to do on the field rather than speaking leadership because that's 11 voices trying to say the same thing is a lot harder than just one voice. So we just try to show in actions rather than words.
Okay, all right.
That's
You
good right
actually
there. I
have
like that.
you actually have 2 years of eligibility. So this isn't hopefully not a final senior season, right? Am I correct in that you have 2 years of eligibility?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'd like for you to kind of give us now Coach P gave us a little bit about the pitchers. She told us we got three very good pitchers. Of course, probably the more well-known coming back this year is Christiana Beasley, who was part of the preseason All SWAC. But tell us about the three. As the catcher, you got to know these young ladies, and what they do, what they don't do, what they like, how they like to be talked to. So give us a breakdown of your pitching staff, of our pitching staff this year.
So, like you said, I do have to know the pitchers and really know how to talk to them because each player needs something different. So, for Christiana, she's very straightforward. She would want you to just tell her how it is. And the same with Nadia. Nadia is but Nadia really goes off of the catcher's facial expressions. So for me, when I'm catching Nadia, I just have to make sure that I'm smiling at her, telling her she's doing a good job, just telling her, hit me right here, like hit these spots, you got this, it's me and you, stuff like that. With Lauren, she's more of a bubbly pitcher. So it's kind of the same with Nadia. You do have to smile at her a lot and you just have to let her do her thing because if she's trying to do something else or trying to be too serious, she won't pitch as well as she wants to pitch. So yeah, that's the pitchers.
All right, that's a great breakdown. Great breakdown. And I know we as fans, is there anything that we as fans need to be aware of when we come to the crowd? I mean, who on the staff feeds off the juice from the crowd?
The whole team. We love
All
when the
right.
crowd is involved in our chants, our cheers, when they're trying to talk at the other team. We love that kind of stuff because that's more people on our side.
So tell me of the fan bases in the SWAC, and be honest, we can take criticism and everything. Which one was the most exciting and intimidating crowd that you all saw in the SWAC last year? If it's us, it's us. If it's not, let us know so we can step up.
Most intimidating. Mississippi Valley State. They were probably
What?
the most. They had
I
well,
wasn't
when we
expecting
went
that.
there, they had a
I
lot
can
of
see
people
that.
at their games. They had a bunch of student athletes. They had a bunch of parents just talking trash to us, stuff like that. So that was probably like the most intimidating crowd in the SWAT that I've been around.
What?
You know, after our good friend, hey, you know, can you imagine a whole crowd of people like that just talking and
Whew,
boy, look,
Jesus. Did they
So
have the
especially
smell of fried cat?
you very
Listen,
well.
did they have the smell of fried catfish up in there though?
No,
Could you smell the fish? You couldn't smell the fish.
no.
What about no grits fish, no ribs, no tailgate? They was just straight in y'all face, calling y'all of every
Yes,
name except the child of God.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Jesus. All
Wow,
right.
that's a shock. Okay.
Yeah, that
But I
is a
can dig
shock.
it.
That is a shock. Naya, before we let you go, we got to ask about the stroll. We waited until the end. You got to tell us because, you know, that's one of the things that, the softball program has gotten, besides its good play, a lot of for the stroll. So, kind of give. Now, I don't imagine you had a lot of strolls that y'all did at Stetson, right? There weren't a lot of strolls they
No,
did at Stetson. Okay, yeah.
we didn't
All
have
right.
any at all.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about the strolls. Who's the stroll leader? Or I might not be saying that right. You know, I didn't pledge or nothing like that, so I don't know anything about strolling. But give us a breakdown of the strolls, the softball strolls.
Well, really, so last year when I came is when we tried to implement it back into the program because it was there when some of my teammates' sisters were on the team. So that's when we tried to implement it back into the program. I usually am the point of the stroll, and then we just go from there.
Oh, so you're the point.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. And what's the so is it one particular song that we try to work off of? Are you working on other songs, other strolls? Give us a little background on that.
So the song that we stroll to is Wipe Me Down. But we're trying to get another stroll to another song. We just haven't really had time to sit and think of what moves we want to go in the stroll. So that is TBA, but it might be coming this season.
Right. Now, Kelvin has already agreed to come learn a stroll whenever y'all ready. He promises to come learn. I'm putting you out there, Kelvin. So
I'm down. I'm down.
I know. We and Kofi might even come join in too. Kofi's got some moves, so we're down for it. And I gotta say, you guys do have some great chants. I still can't. I get a chill up my spine. Whoever did who let the dogs out chant, I gotta record that because that chant was like, that was vicious. Y'all did that against Jackson State, and them little Tigers, they pawed up in a little corner, and y'all shook them. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I was at that game. That chant started, and I just watched their whole clubhouse, and they were like, "Oh my God, what are they doing?" And it just, y'all really shook them that day. So I think we won that one too. So, all right. So hey, Nyah, I'm gonna give you the last word. Anybody you want to shout out? I think your dad is in the chat room. He's been in the chat room chatting it up with everybody. What's up, Dad? What up, Rattler? So any shout outs you want to give, anything you want to tell us? I'm going to give you the last word, Nyah.
I think you guys should really come and support us this year. Everybody that is listening in, because we really need the support and we thrive off the crowd. So that is very important for us. And I want to shout out my dad. Hey, Dad. And my mom, if she's watching. Hey, Mom. And then I want to shout out Josh, our camera guy and social media networking guy, and my best friend, Janaea.
All right.
Let's go.
All righty. Rattler Nation in Georgia, Rattler Nation in Macon, Georgia, Atlanta. This weekend, the season begins. We're playing 5 games in the Macon tournament beginning Friday afternoon against Jacksonville State, 3 p.m. Eastern. Then we have a night game against Mercer, the host school, at 8 p.m. Then we get a take on Hampton. I know that'll be an exciting one. We get a chance. What was the young lady's name who pitched in the Little League World Series? She's still playing with Hampton. I can't even remember her name, but we play Hampton at 11:30 on Saturday, Army on Sunday, and University of Buffalo on Sunday. So a great weekend, great opportunity to come out to Mercer University in Macon, Georgia, support the Lady Rattlers, come see 1, 2, go see all 5 games this weekend, and look out for Nyah, hitting some bombs, some doubles, catching it up. I'm sure there's going to be a great weekend. We're excited for you guys, Nyah, because Coach P, she got us excited. I mean, look, we got a big expectation for you guys, and I know you guys do too. So we wish you much success this year, good health, and we look forward to meeting you in person and watching you all play. All right.
Thank you.
Wipe me down.
There it is.
There we go. Wipe me down. There we go.
I know. Get your stroll on, everybody. Get your stroll on. All right. We're going to come back on the other side of the break with more. You're watching the ONG Strike Zone. We'll be back in a moment.
Wipe me down. Wipe me down.
That spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure. It's wireless. Pick something we all like.
Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry. I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
Now, you can't live in Texas and not have a good red meat blend. Texas Cowboy Dust is designed for steak and other red meats. It's out to be my most popular spice blend, made with onions, peppers, ground mushrooms, pink salt, and other spices. Texas Cowboy Dust also goes great with chicken, pork, vegetables, and adds a restaurant-quality sheen to gravies and sauces.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Vanilla smoked sea salt seasoning is for seafood. The tarragon and fennel bring out the natural sweetness in seafood. I also use it in rice dishes, on yams, asparagus, blueberry pancakes, and believe it or not, chocolate chip cookies. Vanilla smoked sea salt adds a salty and savory component to sweet dishes that create a symphony for the tongue.
Everybody get your roll on. Everybody get your stroll on. All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. It's Brian in a remote location, Kelvin, Kofi in their home studios. Doing all right tonight. Thank you,
Mississippi
everybody.
Valley got the toughest place in the SWAC.
Hey, you know what? I can see that. I can see that, man. Just, country folk just talking smack. I mean,
You know
look,
what I think the toughest place in basketball is?
Hold on. Alabama A&M.
No.
No? Where?
Cookman.
No, they're so far away from the floor, though. I don't think it's Cookman.
No, they're not.
In that little,
they're right
that
on
little
the floor.
gym. Yeah,
Yes.
but only on
when it's packed,
only on that one side, though. That one side, though. I don't know.
think Cookman. I think when
That-
it's
that-
packed, Cookman.
I think
Cookman's pretty tough.
I don't see that one.
that student. Yeah, no, that student section for Alabama A&M. I've heard stories listening to Coach Pedway when he's on the Carlos Brown show, and I've watched a couple of games. Those guys, those kids, they got some interesting like sections, like organized stuff. I've even heard Southern has I don't know about nowadays, but I know Southern used to have a really strong fan interaction with their basketball program on the road. Kind of stuff they'll talk mess to you and have you ready to go fight up in the crowd. That kind of noise.
That's typical Southern,
So,
but their game. I've been looking at them, and their games aren't all that packed. I'm shocked.
yeah,
They actually have a pretty good team.
There are some beautiful arenas. I mean, again, we're in one, but there are some beautiful arenas in the SWAC that really go that don't go as filled as I really wish they would. Like every time I watch a Southern or even a Prairie, and I'm probably speaking ill of the dead, but I mean they just don't look like they're very crowded. I mean, maybe they probably fill 50-60%, but those gyms, those arenas, man, they should be 80-90%. And
I agree.
if we got 75% capacity, if we would hit that mark, you imagine what the Lawson would be like? That would be ridiculous if we would hit
And
75.
the revenue would be better for athletics.
Amen. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Make sure you guys are following us Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at ONG Strike Zone. Also, download the Jericho Broadcast Network's app on the Google Play and Apple App Store. Just search my JBN, my BCSN. Hit the thumbs up. If you're watching the show right now on YouTube or Facebook, hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to us and go ahead and share. So what we're going to do is this segment, we're going to open it up live. This is what we call the mailbag portion. We haven't done one of these in a while, but we think we've got the phone lines ready to roll. So we're going to open it up to Rattler Nation. Anybody that wants to give us a call and share some thoughts. Open segment. Any thoughts on anything? Give you about a couple minutes to talk. We're not going to let you get on here and talk for 5-10 minutes because we don't have that kind of time. So, when we come to you, give us your name, tell us where you're from, and get in and out. Quick comments, and we'll go from there. All right, here's the number. And if one of you guys are able to type it up into the chats, that'd be great. The phone number is 678-383-7623. Again, that's 678-383-7623. Producer Roy, phone lines he'll be checking them out, ready for them as they come in. So if anybody wants to call in, get it off your chest. Now, let us know. Do you like the schedule? Why don't you like the schedule? Are you going to be purchasing your tickets, your season tickets, investing in champions? What do you think of basketball right now? Obviously, we had the big 2-game sweep at Texas Southern. That's big. Unfortunately, the loss for the men. Here we go. First caller of the night. Let's kind of find out who we got on the line talking with us. Hello, caller. What's your name and where you from? Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you from?
Next.
They hung up.
Oh, they actually hung up. All right. So I guess they were just trying to see, does it actually work? So again, that's 678-383-7623. Mr. Morgan was there. Corinthia Morgan. Hey, man, your daughter, excellent interview. We're looking forward to following. Thank you for coming on. And great job, Dad, on recruiting your daughter, getting your daughter to FAMU. Great job. That was a great interview. Love talking to Nyah. And we hope to talk to her a little bit later on in the year. Of course, we can add along with Janiyah, we can add Nyah to our favorite softball players. We'll get more softball players on during the year because we're gonna form a great relationship with our softball program this upcoming spring season. So I know Josh is listening, so Josh, we're gonna be hitting you up about every other week with a softball player. So we just letting you know now. So again, while we're waiting on the phone calls, did you guys put the number out there in the chat room? While we're waiting on the phone calls to come in, let's kind of talk a little bit about the basketball weekend in Texas as FAMU traveled to do the Texas two-step with Texas Southern and Prairie View. Those of you who caught the show on Sunday realize that I unfortunately lost a bet with Dr. Cavill on that Prairie View men's game. So at some point I'll be out.
You bet on FAMU basketball?
I was feeling
Bruh.
it. Look, I was feeling it. We had just won two. Oh, look. Here. Yes.
You could have just given me $20 and I would have been good. Like, smart bettors make smart. Come on, man.
Well, look, here's what I've seen about the SWAC, right?
I love FAMU.
I do too. I do too. And
I ain't betting on our basketball team this year.
You have to pick spots. You have to pick spots.
You gotta pick spots. I would pick it at home. Never on the road just yet. This ain't that squad.
Yeah. I wasn't prepared for.
You could have just given me $20, dog. I don't understand that one there, dog.
I understand. But look, the way this team had played. Look, I knew going on that road game to Texas Southern. That game was Texas Southern has not played at the level of they were a championship team a year ago. I mean, what's funny about that road game, 1 year ago, we went to Texas Southern, you remember this, with a 7-game win streak. That game was on NBA TV, and they roasted us. They roasted us by about a good double digits. Yeah, y'all remember that from a year ago?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this year, we actually, except for maybe about a 8-minute stretch in the second half, we dominated that game on the road this year against Texas Southern. And the interesting part, when you watched a team that was up by 8, I think at one point in the second half, gave up a 16-0 run, and then found a way to fight themselves back into winning that game by 8. That was probably the most complete performance we've seen all season from FAMU, and I think a big reason for that, if you go look over the last 4 games, that would be big part of that is Noah Marin. Noah Marin, who is a grad student, transfer from Brown, a 6'5" guard. He's number 15. The last 4 games, he scored 15, 15, 20, 20 and 10 is actually what he had against Texas Southern. And then he had 14. Even in the 30-point loss to Prairie View, he still had 14. So he's been playing about 30 minutes a game over that stretch. And we are actually looking like a better team. I mean, look, we were 2-2 in that stretch, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, we had the 2-game win streak. And I think I forgot who we had lost before that win streak started. But the men have looked better. And everybody really in the men's division, they have the only team who's streaking right now is Grambling. They've got a 3-game win streak right now. Everybody else, it's win 1, lose 1, win 1, win 2, lose 2. I mean, so we're 2 games out of the 8th spot, 2 games out of the 7th spot. Bro, this weekend and next weekend, we could be right back in the tournament, which is where you say you want us to be, right, Kofi?
You sound like you have hope. You sound like you have hope. My God.
Hope. I do have hope. Hey, we got another caller on the show. Hey, caller, what's your name? Where you from?
Yeah, Dwayne, Jacksonville.
All right, Dwayne. How you doing, man? What up?
Hey, what's up, KR? Hey, what's up, Kofi?
Hey.
Hey, so anyway, yeah, no, I am not crazy about the schedule. I would have loved to play, for us to have played A&T, Sanford, one of those type schools. That would have, really been a good kind of situation for us, especially since we think we're going to be really good this year. But it kind of is what it is. But I really do wish we would have played a more competitive schedule. And like KR was saying, I wish we would have not played, all the PWIs.
Sweet, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Sweet. Do you wanna go to the Celebration Bowl or the playoffs?
No, I mean, given the option, because the Celebration Bowl is tied with money, then yeah, I prefer to go to the Celebration Bowl. But given the option, I would probably select the playoffs, just because I think the kids want to play the best against the best, and I think it helps it helps us with our name, but then it helps the kids with their draft, selection. At least that's my opinion.
Dude, all right. All right. I mean, I respect that, but I'm just wondering. We always talk about the kids. I don't know. I don't know if I'm hearing, and you guys tell me wrong. You tell me otherwise. I don't know if I'm hearing guys having this same debate that we have, playoffs versus Celebration Bowl. I think the kids just want to play in the best opportunity, in the best place. and they're doing a lot for the Celebration Bowl. Those kids get a great bowl experience in the Celebration Bowl. You go to the playoffs, you get that one game somewhere, and then you got another game somewhere. There's no bells and whistles. You don't get a bowl experience. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah,
But
you got to go ahead.
but I think the situation comes back to when you come and you're measuring yourself against a higher brand, at least in the I guess the NFL the recruiters site, the scout sites, that you're measuring yourself against a higher brand of competition. And I think, like Coach was saying the other day, all the kids when they come in, they want to go to the NFL. That's what they talk about. And I do remember that excitement back in the Billy Joe days when we were going to the playoffs and actually beating people. Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm still mad at Quinn Gray today for throwing that interception.
Oh boy.
And
All right, sweet. All right, we appreciate the call. Thank you, man. Thank you.
enjoy the show,
Yeah,
guys.
appreciate you.
Thanks,
Appreciate you calling. Hey, look, Kelvin, I don't know, man. I'm telling you, I don't think these kids. I think these kids. Look, Isaiah Land was rated as the third best player by Pro Football Focus at the Reese Senior Bowl. I mean, he played in what, one playoff game as a junior. I mean, if you got the talent, they gonna find you. He showcased what he did during the regular season. I mean,
Well, I
I
mean,
think we
Jacoby
want
Durant played in the Celebration Bowl and he got drafted
exactly,
and is playing well.
exactly,
But
exactly.
he
I
got
don't think.
drafted. But let's not mix things. I don't think it's a either or type deal. Both of them are paths. Uh, and I agree with Sweet that when we went on the road and we were beating Appalachian State and Troy in their stadiums and Georgia Southern of the world, that is a different kind of feeling.
But
Going
that was
against
a
that
different.
caliber competition.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
at the end of the day, when it comes to talent, football talent, uh, they ain't making decisions off of who they gonna draft because you played in the Celebration Bowl or if you played in the playoffs, right?
Exactly,
A
exactly.
lot of the scouts will tell you, and a lot of the coaches will tell you that they saw the kids, like with Jacoby Durant when he went up against Clemson.
Yeah.
That's where he made his name. And
Right.
I can recall when we played South Florida, and of course when we played Southeast Louisiana, both of the Zays were lights out.
Yes.
So I mean, they playing against better competition does give them a better gauge, and so
These people
forth.
get on my darn nerves.
But
So with
I'm
that
fine.
said,
Yeah.
with that said, then with that mindset, we should be, or those people who are worried about guys being drafted, you should be wanting us to play more FBS teams, play
Now,
more money games.
No, we just need to play one because at the end of the day, when we talk about having a good collegiate experience, part of that is playing folks who are your peers who compensate, who you got a chance to win against. I mean, at the end of the day, our budget's still 8.5 million, and so it makes no sense to be putting those guys in harm's way playing 3 and 4 FBS schools with budgets of 50 millions plus. I mean, it's not a fair fight.
Gotcha. 678-383-7623. We want to hear from you guys. I know you guys find some time. I know you want to get your voice heard. 678-383-7623. Let us know. I mean, I know there's a lot of talk. You got to deal with a lot of talk in the communities. We're gonna have to eat the humble pie, as somebody said in the chat room this year with our schedule. You know, do you feel like we can beat USF? I mean, USF has been a bad team. We should have beat them 2 years ago. Can we beat USF? I
I
mean,
think
nobody
we
seems to be
can.
talking. I think we can too. Nobody's talking about it. It's like we're so focused on these two Division II teams. Let's talk about the USF opportunity we have in front of us.
Well, you know, Rattlers we always think we got opportunity to win, especially when it comes to football. That's just our mo. But you know, when the reality is, the truth is, a lot of things have to go right when you trying to pull off upset. Can't turn the
Yes.
ball over. You have to win time of possession. When you do get the ball in the red zones, you have to score. You know, you
Touchdown.
got to beat
Touchdown.
you got to beat the refs. You know, you ain't gonna get the call. So that's and then you know you have to be in the game in the third or fourth quarter. You have to be close enough where that pressure be on. So you know that's a lot to happen. That's a lot that has to happen. But it's possible. We talent wise and depth wise at this point with what Coach Simmons has been building, we're probably as close as we've ever been in the last 20 years to being able to pull off upset. So
Again,
it's possible, but
yeah, I
still a
want to
lot
say
has to go right.
a lot of that has to do with being in those type of games. How do you win the big game? The game that you absolutely 100% have to have. You have to go in with the mindset that you can win. That's one. Two, you have to believe in your game plan. You know, obviously off of your film study, all of that stuff. And I want to say that our adjustments that we made in the game were just not up to par. You know,
Yeah, I
you
agree.
had Terrell Jennings and McLeod. We were running the ball effectively against the University of South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, we tried to make McKay the hero. And I believe had we run the ball 10 more times, 10 to 12 more times, we would have had an opportunity at the end of the game to make some plays and be right there. The score was 38-17. You know, and USF scored a touchdown late, so it was there
Shoulda,
for the
coulda, woulda.
taking.
Yes, it was. Just like it was the week before against Jackson State. It's just one of those seasons. Kofi, let's talk about 2024.
Okay.
You started, and you brought up some the schedule. Some interesting things are already in place for the 2024 year. What's and I saw you put a good post out there. Let's talk about that and
Well,
how that schedule
basically,
is already developed.
yeah, in a nutshell, the schedule basically just switches, right? And it begins with us adding Troy and Miami, right? So those are two FBS schools that we're going to be playing. Then we'll be at Jackson State, at Alabama State, and at home we have Alabama A&M, Mississippi Valley, Southern University, and Texas Southern. We'll be at Prairie View, and Bethune-Cookman to be the home team in the Florida Classic. So we'll also play in the SWAC MEAC Challenge in Atlanta next year.
There's your
So
Atlanta
we
game,
already
folks.
have 11 games. We just need one more game because next year we'll have the opportunity to play 12 games. So who
And
that
it's got to
12th
be a home
game
game.
is.
It needs to be a home game, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
So there you have it. Now, here's the other thing, right? Because we're playing in Miami against the University of Miami, will they use that 12th game to make it the Orange Blossom Classic and say like Jacksonville? Because we're already playing in Miami.
That would be, you know what? That would be, as much as, you hate to be away from Bragg, If we're talking about where we have an opportunity to earn the most, it would make sense because Jacksonville is looking to host just like what they did this past year with Jackson State and Bethune-Cookman. I've talked to the organizers with the city of Jacksonville. They want to do more games like that. They want to build a relationship with not only Bethune but Florida A&M and bring a game like that. Now, I don't think you're going to get a conference game, but imagine, as you said, a South Carolina State, or go even further, North Carolina A&T maybe,
or Tennessee State.
Well, I was going to possible.
Or Mercer for that matter. I'm just saying, if we have a 12th game, Miami, us playing Miami is not going to be the Orange Blossom Classic. It's their home game. But if we move the Orange Blossom Classic to like a Jacksonville, I have to put Tampa out there because any smart marketer would try to make space to allow another city to bid on the game so you can try to make the most money. I think Tampa would offer the more money, but I think Jacksonville would be the better place. They've got a good airport. It's 2 hours away from Tally, and it's an opportunity to maximize our sponsorship opportunities. So that's just my thought. I just wanted to put that out there.
We don't own the Orange Blossom Classic, by the way. The school does not own it.
Kendra Bullock owns it.
But as we've talked to Miss Bullock, she would be wise to partner with Florida A&M because historically, I mean, look, her purchasing that game was rooted in the history of the fact that Florida A&M has always been the signature team to play in it. I don't know how many other Orange Blossom Classics have not featured.
There has not been an Orange Blossom Classic without FAMU, and she came on the show and said that there would not be. She couldn't imagine an Orange Blossom Classic without FAMU being in the game. So
exactly,
yeah. So it is what it is. But if they want an opportunity, for me, I see the opportunity in one of the 3 Florida cities. Obviously, we already have the Florida Classic in Orlando. It wouldn't make sense to go twice there, though we've done that. It wouldn't make sense to go twice. But Jacksonville is hungry. I live in Jacksonville. I can tell you that they are hungry to have a game in Jacksonville, and there's space, there's turnaround time, and it's easier for our opponents to be able to get to, especially a school like South Carolina State or North Carolina A&T is right down the street, right down 95.
All right, we got another caller here before we take a break. Hey, caller, do me a favor. Turn down your either your computer or hit mute there. What's your name? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is your moderator tonight, Dr. Wilson, Dr. Lori.
Lori!
Hey, how you doing, Dr. Lori?
I am good. I decided to call in because I want y'all to get some more people to call and talk. So I'm going to talk about what I feel about the schedule. I'm very disappointed. But let me just say this. I do understand the assignment. And the assignment is that we have some very good players. I mean, some good ones. And we have to understand we're in the SWAC, and we all should be tired of losing the Celebration Bowl. This is FAMU's time to finally go and win this Celebration Bowl. That is the assignment. So we got to win because I'm tired of these MEAC folks talking about us and saying, y'all need to come on back because the SWAC is whack. So we need to concentrate on making sure that FAMU gets there to the Celebration Bowl and win it this time. 2 years that the SWAC hasn't won it. And so this is the time that we have to concentrate on making sure we win all those games and blow those B2 teams out of the water. We got to do way better than barely winning. So we can go ahead and go to the Celebration Bowl and take that over. So I do understand the assignment. So I'm just going to focus on that. But we got some very good players, and I'm so happy that, FAMU is going to be on top of the heat this time. And so we just need to concentrate. Don't let all the background noise, because folks going to talk, but we got to concentrate on making sure that we win the Celebration Bowl. That's the assignment.
I love that. Understand the assignment. Well said. That's how you got to teach. You got to make sure we understand the assignment and don't get distracted. Well said, Dot.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going back in the chat. So one thing I can say, I want to reiterate to everybody that, we are loving HBCU. We like for other HBCUs to come over, but this is definitely a Rattler space. I like for all our Rattler nation to be able to express themselves and be able to enjoy your show, because I do. And so that's one thing we always going to be about is each other. We like for other people to come over and enjoy us, but when you come to somebody's house, you're a guest. So you got to act accordingly, because we're not going to go over to their stuff and say anything. So that's why I always want to monitor the chat and let everybody understand this is a Rattler space. Okay, guys, y'all doing a great job.
We will kick you out.
Well said.
We'll
Well
kick you
said.
out and block you.
All right,
I've
be
been
well,
trying to
Dot.
provide some measure of therapy
Okay.
to us and be like, don't kick them out. Not yet. I'm trying to say that. Next thing you know, they be gone. You be zigged. You can't find them.
Mind your P's and Q's.
Okay, y'all.
Mind your P's and
Carry
Q's.
on.
I couldn't take
Mind your
it. I
P's and
just
Q's.
couldn't take it no more. I can't take it. Can't stand it.
Let's take a break, come back, and get into a little more conversation on the other side. You're watching and listening to the ONG Strike Zone. We'll be back in a moment.
Nope.
Nope. Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
When you're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark frank, and you'll say, hello, summer. Oh yeah, it's ballpark season.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplified Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplified Development Services.
Bounty versus the old family dish towel. Drying with a fresh sheet of Bounty leaves your hands cleaner than a used dish towel that can carry and redistribute food residue. So ditch the dish towel for better hand hygiene. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Welcome back to the ONG Strike Zone. Brian, Kelvin, and Kofi. Gotta mention a few notes from the women's basketball weekend. Our women's team also went 1-1. Of course, we mentioned the Texas Southern sweep. Then they played against Prairie View on Monday. Lost by 2 points. 2 points. A game that they had a bad third quarter. You had a tie game at halftime. Got down 20. Gave up 21 points. Only scored 12. So you're down by what is the math on that? 9 or 8 points in the 9 points. You're down 9. Go at the end of the third. We fought back and got it all the way down to about a 1 or 2 point ball game, but didn't have enough to kind of close that game out with a win. One of the things that was kind of hurting us that weekend, or at least on Saturday, the injury bug has kind of hit us again. We only had 7 players available for us that play. Now I've seen Coach Pillow has already shortened the rotation for the women, and I think that's been a good thing. Matter of fact, we have, in terms of minutes played across the conference, we're the only school, well, really us in Valley, that have 4 players playing 30 minutes or more. That's not a good thing unless you have that 4 is really good. And our 4, I think, is pretty good. I'm not going to say really, really good, but they're pretty good. The problem is when one goes down, it shows. And it was Dylan Horton who wasn't available on Monday. And we were also without Skylar Baltazar, and she was out. She's a post. We missed her size. And I think if we would have had, especially if we would have had Dylan, who's averaging 14 points a game, she's in the top 10 in scoring in the conference, we'd probably beat Prairie View in that game.
Yeah.
And so our women are sitting, now we talk about the men and how many games we're sitting off of 8th. The women in the last 4 games, they have played really well. They're 2-2. Obviously, they had the 2-point loss to Prairie View. If you go back a couple of games to the Alabama State game, they lost that game in the 4th quarter, and they had a 5-point lead going into it. Outscored 13-0 points off turnovers. I mean, who are you going to beat when the turnover bug? But other than that game, our turnovers have been very low. Can't speak to that the other night, though. Saturday, we had 30 turnovers. I mean, obviously, Jesus. I mean, when you have 30 turnovers and you only lose by 2, that's one of the amazing things about our squad. I will tell you, if you haven't really paid attention to where we sit within the standings, FAMU is 2 games from the 8th spot, which right now Alcorn and Grambling are tied for that 8th spot. FAMU we're one of those strange teams where in terms of turnovers, we average 20 a game. That's actually down from 24 a game just about 3 weeks ago, which is still 3rd worst in the conference. But in terms of assists, we have the 4th most assists per game in the league, just under 12. And then let's go to steals. Defensively, we got, as a team, we are 1st in steals with just under 12. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 ladies. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 in the top 15. 3 in the top 10, averaging just about 2 steals a game. And then the other 2 right at 1.7, 1.6. So we just got to find a way to take care of the ball. You guys give me your thoughts on the women's basketball team right now at this point in the season.
Well, the good thing is if we can stay healthy, they'll have an opportunity. I like the women's team more than I like the men's team right now. I think that, they have an opportunity to finish strong, and I think that would bode well for her if she is to remain. I would say the same thing for the men, but we're talking about the women. So if Coach Pillow can really finish strong on a win streak, with the remaining games that we have, I think we'll be trending in the right direction.
I would like for us to get out of that 8th spot. Obviously, Jackson State is sitting there leading the conference with a 10-1 record, 2 games over the second place team. But I know you'll call me crazy. I know a lot of people already have. And I know I see this team with rose-colored glasses, but I like our chances versus everyone but Jackson State in this conference. I really do. I just think because the one bugaboo is the one fixable thing. You know, it's not that we can't score. It's not that we can't defend. You can fix turnovers. I think, especially unforced turnovers. Don't do that, Kelvin. Don't do it. I know you're looking side-eye at me and Kofi's smiling at me. I'm not talking underneath the mask. I'm being real. You can fix the unforced turnovers. You know, it's true. It's true.
I believe you, and I agree with you. Okay? I believe that the women's team, if we're healthy, we have an opportunity to really, really finish strong and make a statement. And if Prairie View can beat Jackson State, if they come in, let's say we pack out the arena,
Saturday, yes.
I like our chances, even against them. But we got to play lights out. And the good thing is, like I said, once they got that first victory, confidence is really everything. So this team is playing with a little bit more confidence. They see that obviously when they had people that were out, different things happened. They fell short. But the women's team has an opportunity to really, really, really finish strong. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
So I'm gonna just talk to the facts. We have 4 home games remaining and a game at Bethune-Cookman. We only have 1 road trip left. Everybody we're trying to compete with to get to that 8th spot, we pretty much play in these last 7 conference games. Right. So the opportunity is there, and it exists for both men and women. I don't see neither one differently. If you look at both programs, they have mostly been competitive, with the one outlier being a Prairie View game on Monday for the men's. But both of them have been close, but we just don't finish. We have a small room margin of error. I do believe that when the women have that 3-headed monster and everybody's healthy, that we can put up enough points to potentially win. But our margin of error is small. We're not very big in the post. We don't have a lot of depth. And we need to shoot free throws at a decent percentage. We need to maximize but the opportunity is there. Until I see it, though, I'm just there. I'll be there. I'll be there this weekend. I'm going to try to do my part and root the teams on. And I would like to see them finish strong and string together 3 or 4 wins. So we'll just see how it plays out.
I agree. Three or 4 wins. 3 wins in these next 4 games would put us into a nice spot when we have the Grambling Southern home stand weekend and Bethune-Cookman at the end, going into those final 3 games. If I'm thinking of the schedule properly, we need to win 3 of the next 4, and it's very possible. Now, this Saturday afternoon, pack the pit, wear pink. I think it's the breast cancer awareness game. Wanting everybody to wear pink is what I saw. The women are at 2:00 against Jackson State, a program and a team that, look, if you're going to get to a game, you got to get there at 1:30 for this one. We need to be there to pack the building. Let's not be a slow arriving crowd for the men's game. The women, Jackson State's women, they are the premier program in the SWAC. They are the ones who had a 40-game win streak, who have won something like 45 of the last 46 games in the SWAC. That's the program you want to see us take down. It's been done. It's possible. But our team needs the support of Rattler Nation. The men play at 4 o'clock. We lost to them by 1. That was a winnable ball game. Cheated by the referee. I don't know what happened. Who knows? But I mean, we lost that game on a pair of free throws. I know. I said I took your line, Kofi. I bought into it. That was a winnable
They be
game
cheating
at
out there in Jackson, though. That's what they do. They give you that
so
water, and next thing you know, your stuff be going crazy.
wow.
I'm sorry.
And yeah, so that's wow. Yeah, so we got Jackson at home. That's a winnable game. Then on Monday night, Alcorn State, again for the women. That's a team who's right above us in the standings. That's a winnable game on Monday night, 5:30 against Alcorn. The men, Alcorn State, their men are in first place. They're going to have a tough game Saturday at Bethune-Cookman. I'm calling that now. They almost lost. I was at that game last year when Alcorn traveled to Bethune. They almost lost that game last year. They will have a tough game on their hands Saturday at Bethune-Cookman, which means they will come into Lawson on edge. And so look, Jackson State, Alcorn coming in. Rattler Nation, we need you. We need you bad. The program needs you. You need to put hands on this team. Put some prayer. Light a candle. Say an extra prayer. Let's hope for good health. Hope for give wisdom to our coaches that they find new strategies and see players the way they didn't see them before. You know, whatever it's going to take to get us
Sam
some
Conjure.
W's. Whatever, yes.
Put that vibranium on them.
We got to put something on them. Hey, also I want to give a shout out to FAMU women basketball player Midi Oriyami. She was named the SWAC Impact Player of the Week for the second consecutive week. She scored 16 points in both games over the weekend with 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals in the win at TSU. So congratulations, Midi, and congratulations to her for that. All right, as we kind of roll through Rattler Nation, just kind of a Rattler roll call, got to give a shout out to bowling. The bowling FAMU bowlers concluded the SWAC bowling roundup number 2 with a even 14-14 record. Had an average of 184.16, which finished the conference season in 5th place. They qualified for the SWAC tournament. So I believe maybe only the top 8 qualify for the SWAC tournament. And so our FAMU bowlers will be going. Jordan Ship finished 4th with a total of 53, 25,320 pins in 27 games. That's an average of 197. Francesca Olay averaged, or she was outside the top 10 with an average of 191. Jordan Ship earned first team all conference, and Olay earned second team all conference. I think Jordan is going to be, I don't know if they do individual bowling player of the year kind of thing, or but she's right there in the top 3, one of the top bowlers in the league. And then let me see. So the SWAC championships begin March 24th through the 26th. The Rattlers are actually in Orlando this upcoming weekend in the Sunshine State Classic. I unfortunately don't know where that is, so if anybody in the chat room has the location of where they will be great if you go ahead and tweet that out. Yeah. Also, any other news and notes on the Rattler Roundup, guys? Any other news and notes you want to hit on?
Indoor
No,
track is
Is that next weekend?
It is coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think it's coming up. Yeah, sometime in the next couple of weeks.
And
I
we
think we have
also
a.
Tennessee. I
Go
was
ahead.
just
I'm
gonna
sorry.
say real quick. Tennis season is going on. We off to a rough start. All out of conference games, of course. But we off to a 0-5 start.
it ain't easy. You play them
Yeah.
Florida teams, you gotta have some. You gotta have, and the tennis team is really not bad, right? But in order for us to take that next step, we really, 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 it's twofold, just across the board. Upgrade the facilities, upgrade the coaching availability, upgrade our training schedule, and we'll see the dividend. But the good thing is playing against this tough competition will help our girls when it comes down to SWAC time, provided they're being pushed, provided they're being they're making the necessary corrections to become better. I think this squad is going to have an opportunity to really make a nice run come SWAC time in the tournament. Now, what about anybody know anything about our wrestling team and what we're doing?
Well, that's club level. But no, I haven't heard anything on their meets. But the SWAC Indoor Championship Track Championship is next week, the 16th, starting on the 16th in Birmingham.
All right, that's next week, and I'll tell you what about that. I think we can win. I think it's the women. I think the women might be able to pull off what probably might be considered an upset over. I think Prairie View's women are. What I feel like we can come top 3, if not steal a win from either our men or women in the indoor championship. It just if you look at the numbers that we've been putting up lately, we actually competed against Prairie View a couple of weeks ago in one of our previous meets, and we as a team outperformed them. So I don't know if that was a good indicator, but I I like our chances going into the SWAC tournament. I think we got a few people who could win a title, and we're gonna be right there in the hunt on the last day when they run those sprints to actually win that SWAC indoor championship. So that's next week. Baseball will also be kicking off that week as well. The baseball season will be kicking off next weekend as well. So we are slowly moving into the spring season. As you know, we're into the busy season for our athletic director and our SID. Um, I'd also be remiss, guys, if quick thought here. I know we're almost about end of the show, but as we were just a thought that I had about the schedules, and you tell me if I'm crazy here. I should probably stop saying that because or come up with something different because I think you guys call me crazy a lot. But I noticed with
Stop
our
making them old
large.
crazy kookamome decisions to make bets on a team that's been inconsistent the entire time, and we'll stop calling you crazy. I love FAMU too, but I am not betting nothing on this team.
I like that. I like FAMU too, but
not this year.
We had a large contingent go out to California for that college expo. Noticed a lot of social media, large contingent of FAMU folks. what do you? I think it's time, and this might be happening in the background, and if it's not, it should. There might be an opportunity for a California HBCU classic of some event, or even if it's just a one-off game featuring FAMU and some other HBCU in that new SoFi Stadium there, right there in Inglewood, California, where home of the Rams and the Chargers. What do you guys think of that? And who would be a good fit to pair us up against out there?
You have to go with one of the major brands if you're going to go out to Los Angeles. And I don't want to see FAMU and Southern in Los Angeles. I don't want to see FAMU and Tennessee State in Los Angeles.
No.
FAMU Grambling in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I could kind of live with if we're going to do something like that. But now, if the money is right and LA is willing to pony up, I'd be willing to change my view on Southern and FAMU in Los Angeles if it's going to bring each team a minimum guarantee of 1.5 mil.
Yeah, I agree.
It's that's a very expensive trip, and we ain't even introduced or talked about the band. If you're gonna have a major event out there to expose those students to the HBCU culture, you have to have the bands with you. I don't know if there's a sponsor or promoter who will put that together, but it's in Sci-Fi Stadium is you probably have to partner with the Rams and the NFL because that's one of the newest stadiums. It's a very expensive stadium also, so it's a lot that would have to happen for that to happen. I would maybe be interested in seeing them have a Me as Swag challenge type deal and move that to out west,
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Now that's another city. You mentioned that. See, I'm looking at Vegas and California, obviously separate years, but taking advantage of our presence and the growth of the fan base. Well, not just the fan base, but the growth of the alumni. But the fans will travel to a place that we've never seen. Our
you
team,
give us an
our
airport.
band. Yeah.
If you give us an airport,
yeah,
Rattler Nation will go.
30,000 easily. I think 30,000 Rattlers will go easily.
Let's not get crazy.
No,
we will travel, but not 30,000.
But I will say it depends on the team in the game. Now, what I would say is the reason Atlanta works so well for FAMU is because A is close, but they have a major airport that those that are in Chicago, Detroit, those other places, they can make it down to Atlanta for a game. This Houston game that we play Texas Southern, I'm anticipating 3,000 to 5,000 Rattlers to be there. If we go over that, I think it's a possibility depending on what the activities are. But I would say you could reasonably expect a good 3,000 to 5,000 Rattlers in Houston.
That seems low to me. I don't know why.
I believe it could be higher, but we're going to be in the building. The stadium only holds 22,000.
Well, right. I know, but Texas Southern doesn't even bring 5. So I think we could bring 10 and
we could, but I'm telling you, more than likely, 3 to 5 is a good number.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good number for an FCS school. That's huge. Now, we could do 10, but I'm telling you, see, this is why you be losing your little bets and stuff, because you just be sitting up there talking about some 10 and 20 and 30,000 and stuff. And I'm telling you,
Stop it, man.
Under promise, over deliver.
Under
Under
promise,
promise,
over
over
deliver.
deliver.
I gotta write that down. I gotta make sure I remember that. Thank you.
Write
Under
that down
promise,
and read it before you go to sleep.
Stay on Earth. Stay on Earth.
Under promise.
Stop
over
going to
deliver.
Mars.
I know. All right. Before we close, and as we're closing the show, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you guys with LeBron James now becoming the all-time NBA scoring champ, 38,390. On your top 3 or top 5, where do you move LeBron James in terms of greatest basketball players? For me, he moved to a solid number 3 behind Jordan and Russell, Bill Russell. What's your top 3, top 5, Kelvin?
It just depends on what you value, to be honest, right? You know, whether it's championships or not making the playoffs or longevity.
What do you
You know,
value? What do you value?
he's in a conversation as one of the greatest. I personally, I rank him. I value championships, so Russell is the best when it comes to championships, right? But league was small. I mean, it was less teams. The same type of athletes didn't exist. I believe that LeBron is one of the rare athletes that could play in any era and would be dominant in any era. All right, you know, he essentially physically has no weakness, and his makeup is different than a lot of guys. So you know, for me, as a basketball player, overall as a player, he's number 1 for me. But he ain't the greatest competitor. Michael Jordan probably the greatest competitor, and of course, Russell was the greatest winner, champion.
Well thought out answer. Kofi, your more simplistic answer there.
See, what I don't like about you is how you be trying to silence me when I got something to say. I don't appreciate. Let me stop. No, I mean, LeBron is, in my opinion, he has proven himself to be one of the greatest players of all time. We'll never be able to physically see him battle up against Jordan, so it's just a matter of preference in terms of what you want. But just from a physicality, from a player's perspective, I have to admire anybody that has taken the time to go through the process to become a professional, but more importantly, an elite professional, then be hated on the level that he was hated on, and then continue to thrive and prove people wrong. So that's a special individual to me, and LeBron has always had my respect, not to mention all of the stuff that he's doing for Florida A&M University. I just need him to come to the campus one good time so I don't have to talk bad about him anytime soon.
One time. Won't you come home, LeBron? Come home.
Hey, with a check, with a big check.
With a big check.
And some more units.
Yes. Hey, coming up, it's the 2nd annual Black Business Expo Tallahassee, which takes place on February 25th at the Moon, and is brought to you by Mega Ace Media and the Tallahassee Leon County Office of Economic Vitality. The Black Business Expo will feature financial institutions, agencies, and larger businesses looking to partner with your Black business. Tallahassee Mayor John Daly and Leon County Commission Chair Nick Maddox are the special guests for the event, and they'll be there to hear what goes on in our businesses. We'll give out $15,000 in grants, and we can all use a little extra cash this time of the year. For more information, visit us online at bbetally.com. That's bbetally.com. So you business owners, small business owners that watch our show, we know we got a few of them. You guys make sure you get registered and get logged in, please, if you would. All right. That's going to do it for tonight's show. We got to again thank Nyah Morgan for joining us. Big softball weekend coming up in Macon. If you guys are in Macon, Georgia, in Middle Georgia, Atlanta, get down to go check out the good old softball team this weekend and
Beat the
get
Bears.
behind. Exactly. Beat the Bears, beat
The
everybody.
Bears.
Yeah, let's come out of this weekend feeling good.
Shout out to the producer and the boss
Exactly.
man.
Boss man, Roy Evans producing,
Hubba
coming
Roy.
in.
Hubba Roy. Hubba.
We appreciate you. Thank you
Hubba.
guys for Kelvin, for Kofi. I'm Brian Fulford. Not at a remote location, just with bad visuals. But when you see me out in the street, you better back up because the Rattlers, when we see you, we just gonna strike, and strike again. All right, good night, everybody. Peace out.